Hello and welcome to the theElpyDimension. I am Elpy. This is bin number 2. Wow, hold on. All right, let's do that differently. It's obviously very moist in there because the bottom blanket was not coming out gracefully. And I don't want to lose any worm friends that might be on here, which there's one. Okay. Put you off to the side. So, today's the 9th of October, 2024. The last time I was in here was the 26th of September. So I unintentionally, it's been 13 days. I want to take this because it's got all those mites on it. So we're going to knock our worm friend off there. And I just harvested bin 1. So I've got a 2-gallon bucket full of castings that they are going to go into. All right. So I think these are also. This bin, I think I said that around this time it's supposed to be already ready to harvest. Oh, breeding worms right off the bat. Sorry, guys. Where am I going to put you? Put you over there in that corner, maybe. Just cover you up for a second. Okay, so the temperature in the basement is about 66 degrees Fahrenheit. I think about 18 degrees Celsius. I was just looking at the little thermometer I have, so that conversion might be off. The bin 1 was about 63 degrees. So actually, that would mean it's cooler in the bin. So 13 days since I fed, and I fed a half a watermelon skin with this one with nice clitellum. I know that there was other stuff that I put in the watermelon skin. So as soon as we start digging, we find worms. You see that the castings on top are really fine, and they always look kind of fibrous to me, especially with lots of paper. But as we dig down, we see like White Davy, WD Garden and Worms, I believe, or Worms and Garden, formerly known as White Davy Garden and Worm Farm. She messaged, commented on one of my videos. By the time you see this, it'll have been several weeks ago maybe, saying that she, these castings are going to be, these are kind of wet to harvest, and she's definitely right. These are very wet. So what we need to be doing is, this is, I just keep this little stone in there because I think it's fun. What we need to be doing is, as I dig through this side, I think, no, we'll harvest this side first. Okay, but still, I'm going to just sort of, we're not going to make a big thing of this tonight. Yeah, it's very muddy down there. The big chunks of paper, I was sort of doing it last time, I think, that I've kind of started. Yeah, I do kind of remember. I don't think I added any, I smell watermelon. I don't think I added any more material last time. I think I just used the material that was already in here. So we're kind of trying to, not kind of trying to, but I am taking the more obvious chunks of broken down paper and separating them, so that the goal being we'll have mainly just castings that really need to just dry on one side. Why am I saying the other side and not this side? Because I'm thinking to get the new material going sooner on the inside for them. The inside being that this is the wall it shares with the other bin, so that then they'll move into that stuff sooner, and hopefully it'll be warmer for them. I guess, am I thinking about that right? That if I take this out first, put the new stuff in it, they're going to want to move in there, and then they'll already start getting that ready while this stuff is preparing to be removed. All right, so we're not going to super worry about all the chunky stuff right now. But mainly, when we see these clumps of paper. And you see that there are worms all throughout. They're not in super abundance, but they're a nice population. I just saw a cocoon, and we saw breeding worms, so we know that they are happy. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm going to take the stuff that I'm separating out. We're going to dig in the other side, and we're going to put it in this upper left corner. Have I already decided that we're taking this side out first? That's what I get for letting 2 weeks pass and for not checking my videos. It's just, I've not made the time to get down here. And so when I finally, today I said, that's it. I'm coming down. And so there was no thought towards preparation. And that's kind of a newer thing that I'm doing. I've only done it a couple of times, so I know it's got to be built into a new habit. That being that I take notes while I watch the previous video, so that so I can, if I've asked you guys any questions, then I know that, we're looking for the answers here. Usually the question is, how much food do you think is going to be left? And then I can say, okay, I said that I think there's going to be 70%. And also I can reference what I last fed them, how the bin last looked, and, was it really wet last time? Did I say I was going to start getting ready to harvest? Just all notes, and be able to have an educated discussion. Oh, sorry, buddy. Worms hanging out in this. It's like this their little Airbnb. Half of a avocado shell. All right, so let's just go ahead and dive in here. I don't remember which side I fed on. I have a feeling it was this side, though. I think I sort of did the same thing of kind of trying to gather the paper, and I did notice that there were more mites on the paper that was kind of right here. Got a bunch of little worms hanging out. I know, guys, I'm kind of knocking you off the paper. Okay. I'm not expecting to see any evidence of food. Now, in the last video, go check out the last video. Ooh, I just put my hand in mud. So this looks to be the feeding zone. Yeah, my hand just went. Sorry for the sound effect. Smells like I put a citrus in there. I think I did put one of these last times, new material, despite, yeah, because that's shredded paper. This is very muddy. I want to say that I said that I was going to have this bin completely harvested by the beginning of October. No, I think I said I'm going to harvest at the beginning of October, and by the middle of October I'll be completely harvested, and that's not going to happen. Again, like White Davy WD was saying, this is these castings are pretty wet for harvesting. She basically she referenced and said that they're kind of wet. Look, there's a worm down in there. He's in there. Peekaboo. Peekaboo. She was saying that pepper skin, that may have been from the time before. This is mainly just the skin. Saying that the wetness of these castings is really going to it's kind of going to mess up my plans for harvesting. And again, I'm repeating her because she's absolutely right. I need to, I probably said this before, be disciplined, and I want to feed, and the feeding is the fun part, and so is adding new material, but I need to kind of, I need to be disciplined and say, hey, no, this bin needs to be sort of more regulated. Because something I was thinking about was that I want this bin to be harvested before winter, because I want to use these castings for my garlic, and I'll get them planted in the next, before the end of, at least by the end of October. So I need these castings. I don't want to be harvesting castings in a month and then just storing them in the basement. So we're not seeing any large groups of worms. There's worms down in the wet stuff, but, well, he's sort of digging them up rather abruptly. I do kind of see. Here's an avocado that was more whole, which they don't seem to like as much as, as when it's just the skin. But I think it also, judging from this, depends on the moisture. Because Okay. Now what I'm noticing as I get down here, there's kind of some standing moisture. I also see, though, worms. We did just dig over there, but yeah. All right. So all this stuff. I see a cocoon. So one of the things I was thinking last time, the last couple of times, I'm like, oh, but the worms are breeding. And like I was saying in my last video, that I'm a little bit obsessed with with learning that, you know, the worms like wetter conditions to breed. And seeing them breeding, I'm like, yeah, you know, I do want more worms. Being greedy, I want more worms, more worms. I want them to breed. Maybe I don't want to harvest. And then, like I was just saying, no, I do need to harvest because we're transitioning. Our seasons are transitioning. And I don't want these castings to just be hanging out in the basement. So really, I do moving this pile over because this is the side we want it to be on anyways. And I need to be able to move. Sort of playing musical chairs here. The castings that are more ready to go than not, I need to be able to move over and pick out in this bottom right corner more, you know, keep sorting. Like I said, musical chairs. But yeah, so I need to get these castings out of here. Oh, lots of healthy, beautiful worms. I need to get ready for new material for these guys, and start getting them to breeding in the new material, because that's what I want. You know, I don't necessarily want them to do a whole bunch of breeding in this older material if I'm just going to harvest it out. You know, I don't necessarily go through and pick out cocoons. I know that more often, you know, the cocoons can survive the winter, but still, worms, these aren't soil worms. I do mulch my beds, so the compost worms exist on the upper surface of my bins, or sorry, my garden beds, but it's not, this must have been where I fed, because I feel some juiciness. Ha ha, yeah! Tons of mites. To the degree that I'm going to interrupt this party. I knew I was smelling a lemon. This must be a really tasty piece of paper. I was going to try to rip it to get the piece with all the mites on it, but I think it would just be easier to brush all the worms off. Well, there's definitely worms throughout the paper, though. Okay. Sorry, guys, I stole your nice, juicy piece of paper. obviously this, now we are in the feeding zone. Or I just stirred it up, rather. Got some good blue worms. Layers and layers of worms. Excellent. Yeah, there's that swampy, muddy feeling down there. Oh, I'm gonna flip it over because I want to see. I smell mold. Oh, look at a cascading waterfall of worms. There's a piece of our watermelon. Yeah, so it's kind of right below us. Couple of cocoons right there. Yeah, there's one on my hand. See, that's what makes me feel like maybe I shouldn't harvest yet, because they are breeding. Quite joyfully. So perhaps as the conditions dry out. Let's see, look how many more we're digging up. Yeah, this is a great population. So I'm torn, guys. What do you think? I mean, I feel like they're so wet that I'm quite a ways, that I should give them time to dry out more. But I feel like, wow, look at how well they're breeding. Like, it seems like they're so happy in here that I'd just be messing them up by harvesting them, or harvesting the castings. But then again, come right back to saying, but I would like for them to breed in new material, which we are not going to add today. Outside of, I've got a piece of a pumpkin vine, and there's a lot of juices in this feeding. So yeah, look at that. I know Stirred you guys up pretty good. You're going to have to reorient yourselves all over again. But look at, I mean, how wonderful. I feel so blessed to have such a great worm population. All right. But yeah, you know, I think the worms themselves, they're breeding now, and you know, maybe they'll, I don't know, I don't want to lose all my castings and all my happy breeding worms. They're so happy. Look how many there are. But again, this stuff is pretty muddy. Wow, I know I stirred them all up. I had to. When you get it stirred up, though, I feel like it's better than the stuff I just took out of bin 1. So I feel like these could be really nice once they... Actually, what I'm doing is exactly the opposite of what I... Gosh, my brain is thinking harvest this side out first, which would mean I should be moving all this material over there, because this stuff is going to be ready to harvest sooner. All right, well, I guess we're harvesting this side now. You know, I didn't spend a lot of time on those worm parties, but... So, we are going to scoop a bunch of this back up. I lied again. For the sake of the moisture level in this bin and what I'm about to add, no, I changed my mind. I was just going to dump, while dumping it. Yeah, I am going to dump it. I'm going to add a little bit of dry stuff just to kind of help with balance. All right, so we got just, see, not a lot. I know it kind of seems like it when you're supposed to be harvesting, but I think, again, this bin needs to dry out more, and this is to counteract what I'm about to add. Well, that's nowhere near as wet as I thought it was. All right. This powdery stuff you see is nutritional yeast. I found some of those little moth larvae in there, so that told me it was done. Now, this is Arborvitae. I've never put this in my bins. I'm gonna put that on top. Okay, we've got a half of an avocado, some tomatoes, some tomato trimmings, watermelon skins. This is a very soft, it almost feels like a plush toy, grapefruit. I'm gonna poke it with my fingernail. I'm probably gonna poke through my glove. Help them get in it and help it break down faster if I at least penetrate it. And then we've got a piece of okra, some cut up vegetables, piece of avocado cut up like carrots, cauliflower, broccoli, a pepper from the garden that had a black hole in it, and an apple. It's got a bunch of black spots on it. And then this Arborvitae. So it's a good feeding. I will leave some of the Arborvitae in there. Oh, and there's a, whatchamacallit head. Oh, and peas. Zinnia. Okay, so the food is going to be, I was going to say all spread out. It is more spread out than not. I'll kind of give the sides a little bit. So let me know if the Arborvitae you think are a bad idea. Like I said, I'm going to put a lot, or I'm going to put some of it on top. I think that grapefruit especially should go farther down. Okay, so there's a baby worm up there. All right. The Arborvitae is my effort. I know they are acidic, but but they're still organic matter. Most of the stuff that I collected from the person who had pruned their plants, most of it I'm going to be putting in my garden beds, but I decided to add a little bit here to bins 1 and 2. We'll see what the worms think. If they don't like it, then I don't expect to find them underneath it. But I almost forgot. This was actually a little bit more than I intended to add. More of this should have went in bin 1. So this is also part of my effort to increase more organic materials into the bin. I know that this is still food because it's a green, but I feel differently about plant matter, adding plant matter, than I do actual like food scraps. So yeah, I'll in bin 1 I mixed it down in there, but I'm gonna just leave this up on top for them. All right, and then we've got our wet blanket that actually I'm gonna let this side get a little bit more air. But we still will have the main blanket. All right, there we have it. These were kind of long this week, but always exciting, I think. What do you think to come into the very populated bins? Did I just... Oh, yuck. I did. I need to clean the walls down here. So, again, today is the 9th of October, 2024. It's been 13 days since I last checked in here. What do I expect to find next time in 8 days? There'll be remnants of the grapefruit and the apple, and evidence of skins. But I think really we're just going to see apple and grapefruit. The apple probably won't hardly be touched. The grapefruit should start to be broken down, but I think we'll see about 80% done in here. All right, so that was it for this bin for this week. Bins 3 and 4 were several days before this, so you should have seen them by now, or should be able to. But yeah, next it looks more like I'm going to be harvesting this bin at the end of this month. And I'll probably be harvesting that side first. And yeah, probably more like the end of this month. I do need these castings for my garlic harvests. All right, thank you so much for your time and for your interest. I very much appreciate you. Be safe, be well. Let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah, let me know what you think about this video. And if you liked it, maybe give it a thumbs up. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. And let me know what you think. Thanks so much for your time. Bye for now.